One of the most important skills you can have in the outdoors is that of being able to make a fire. It provides you comfort, it can give you shelter and save your life, but also it's just a fun way to spend time outdoors sitting around a fire, just meditating, thinking, or speaking to another person. Now there's thousands of ways to start a fire in the wilderness, but one of the easiest ways is to find things that are in nature that are easy to set aflame with minimal effort. And those materials are pretty available to find all times of the year. Right now, it's pretty wet outside, but there's still some stuff that's dry that'll be easy to start a fire with. And this is an important skill to have, so let's go take a look at what we can find. This right here is exactly what we're looking for. Weeds that are up off the ground that have been in the sunshine for quite a while. If they're on the ground, there's a good chance they'll still be damp. They might even feel somewhat dry, but they'll be damp on the inside. And if they've been left too much in the shade, they can still be very wet. So, get that stick away from poking my head. What we're gonna do is we're gonna gather up the tops of these where they're dry and make a bundle. And that's not very hard to do. And we wanna get a decent sized bundle going so that we don't have to do this more than once. And you'll notice that as I'm pulling these, I'm not bringing up the whole plant. I'm just wanting to get the tops off them. So I'm getting a lot of these curly leaves because those will just start a whole lot easier than if I were to accidentally pull some of the wet parts off the ground and get them mixed in with the bundle. When the ground is wet, you're gonna need something to put space in between your fire and the ground itself so that your fire doesn't go out from the moisture on the ground. A log like this that is dry on top would be a great place to start a fire. Today we're not really starting a serious fire, so I'm not going to start a fire right here. But keep that in mind throughout this video that you need a platform. You can gather up sticks. You just want something that'll keep your fire off of the snow or the damp ground until it gets big enough that it'll dry the ground out itself. I'm going to be lighting my bundle here on the ice because I'm not intending to build a fire today. I'm just planning to do this demonstration. If I was going to be building a fire, I would not be doing it on a moisture-inviting surface such as this ice. Now, if you have a lighter with you, which honestly, I always pack a lighter with me when I go into the backcountry just because it saves time, it's got a lot of luxury, and to start this bundle with a lighter, all you got to do simply is get a little flame and it'll start. To make this video a little more interesting, I'm going to be using something else. To start this tinder bundle, I'm going to be using a ferrocerium rod, and I frequently mispronounce that, so I apologize if that's the case. It's also called a ferro rod or a fire steel. These are pretty easy to operate. You just need a semi-sharp, squared metal item to strike it with. Sometimes you can strike it with a pocket saw or the back end of a pocket knife, even a pair of scissors, anything. These are just really handy because they can strike a lot of fires, and they're a great piece of kit to have as a backup item in case all your gear gets wet or your lighter runs out of fuel. And to accompany the ferro rod on this little adventure, I have the Stonefall knives, Hunter Bushcrafter right here in CPMS 90V. I also make these in CPM 154 and a couple other metals as well. Feel free to check out my website, the link is in the description. But back to the topic at hand. To strike a ferro rod with a knife, you never use the face of the blade. That'll dull your edge out, and there's a much better method to use, and that is to use the spine. It's one of the reasons why you want a knife that has a somewhat sharp spine that is very squared off. And a mistake that people frequently make when they try to do this is they go at too low of an angle and they don't scoop off any sparks. So put your knife fairly steep and really dig into your ferro rod so that you can throw a good chunk of sparks into whatever your fire bundle is, your tinder, your grass in this case, so that when the time comes to start your fire, you're ready to go.
All blades on my website are made by me beginning to end. No other hands touch the making process of these blades. Please like and subscribe and check out my other videos to see my content as well as my products.